Hi everyone. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas day. However you spent that with family, friends, maybe a quiet day in nature. I hope you had a lovely day. Um, I struggled a little bit with what today would be about. In terms of, I was given a little bit of information I didn't quite know what to do with. So after sitting here quietly for quite a few minutes with it, I think I know I'm being given what the point is and what I need to share with all of you today. So there are a lot of energetic changes going on right now. We as a species, as a planet, um, and actually as a galaxy, we're experiencing changes and we're making choices as far as which versions of reality to experience going forward. There are a lot of physical changes on the planet, of course, where there are earthquakes and volcanoes and floods going on. There's the political changes across the face of the planet. Many countries, not just the US, are going through a real sort of crisis of identity, sort of a split in approach, the fear, separation, control, hierarchical power, authoritarian structure versus sort of the love, unified, cooperative, everybody wins, the best outcome for everybody type of thinking. There's a real, as you know, a real split going on, kind of literally, and we'll talk about that in another video, an actual, probably more of a full-length video. But in any case, there are a lot of energetic changes going on right now, and even as we just go along in our day-to-day lives, maybe getting rid of wrapping paper and making trips to the store to take advantage of sales, or using up leftover food from yesterday, or visiting friends or family, or going to the zoo, whatever we're doing in our daily lives to different degrees, we're aware of changes, energetic underlying changes going on. We may not be aware of it very consciously, or we may be very sensitive and aware of it consciously. The information and energy that I feel I need to share has to do with the word independence, and it has to do with a sort of emblazoned, iconic picture from a dream that I had last night. And the two, I realize, go together very much, and so I'll do my best here to explain and impart what this is. My husband and his brother, for whatever reason, was there, and I had walked into sort of a barn shop shed type of building, sort of a dark interior, the kind of thing you might see in the movies, where there's a barn, but there's also equipment and tools and that kind of utilitarian kind of outdoor building. And we went into this building, and there was an eagle there, not a bald eagle, didn't have a white head, it had a black head, but there was an eagle that had gotten into the building, and this black eagle was bound. Someone had put chains around his body and around his wings, so that his wings were like this. He had chains everywhere around his body and around his neck. And the chains, actually, for whatever reason in the dream, were not just raw big metal links. They were covered in, you've seen maybe chains that are covered in sort of a fabric, which in 3D life is probably to keep chains from, when they're tying down a load, from tearing into whatever the load is, from making marks. And so it's covered in some kind of a thick fabric. For whatever reason, this poor eagle was bound around his wings, his neck, and his body with these thick fabric covered chains. And my first reaction in that dream was, oh my golly, what has someone done to this poor bird? Oh my golly, we have to help it, we have to save it. But we weren't able to grab him to try to get the chains off of him. And the very next thing is, he was up in the air. There he was with his wings out, and he was up in the air looking down at us. So of course we weren't going to be able to grab him and help him in this dream, but there he was up in the air, chains and all, doing what he does, being what he is. looking down and doing his hunting and being where eagles go and doing what eagles do. And it was just that was the dream. It was very, very clear and vivid, and it was very short. I almost like an icon, seeing that black eagle with all that chain stuff on him. Just, yeah, I'm up here still being an eagle. And this morning, sitting in meditation, I kept seeing the word independent, independent. And I thought, well, what does that mean? What am I to do with that? I felt confused. And now I understand what I've been being shown. The message that I need to share is, with all the energetic changes that are going on, all the sort of what can really feel like a free-for-all, like, I don't know about you, but I like this morning and some other days, I'll actually feel like this very fast whooshing movement, like there's so much movement going on of things that are not physically visible, but just so much change and movement going on that it's like almost dizzying. And yet it's not anything that you can physically see, but that I just am aware of this movement, this dizzying movement. And again, to whatever degree you are or are not aware of that, or that you are seeing the expression of that change and dizzying movement and change of energies in the world, in the political situation, in different things going on in the world, to whatever degree you are or are not aware of it consciously, the thing that's important to remember is that we are, I'm going to substitute the word sovereign for independent. No one and no thing, no situation out there gets to dictate your experience. As my teacher, Seth, always said over and over and over, you create your own reality. Seth isn't the only one who says that. We create our own reality. That doesn't just mean worry about controlling the events that you see going on in the world. It means you and I choose the quality of our life. We choose what we focus on. We choose what we would like to experience, and then we choose to either deny it ourselves or to give it to ourselves. But we choose and create the reality that we experience, and we have the empowerment to choose to feel love and joy. Look for the love, look for the joy, look for the cooperation and the unity, look for the beauty, look for the laughter. My favorite sequence of words is love, joy, beauty, creativity. When we vibrate in that and choose it for ourselves as a quality of life, regardless of what the circumstances are, regardless of who's in power, what he or she is going to do with the economy, regardless of whether our house is in perfect condition right now or it got knocked down by a flood, whatever, we always need to sort of vibrate upward, lift, and remember that we get to choose to feel love and joy and creativity and beauty no matter what is going on around us. And I realize sometimes that's easier said than done. I realize that. But those dips where we're not able to feel it or plug into that can be less and less frequent, and they can be less and less deep and all-encompassing as well. So this eagle and this word, which is an energy field, independence, it's about no one else creates your experience of reality for you. You choose the quality of your life. You choose what to do with the circumstances that you're experiencing and the information that comes your way. So independence in that you're in charge of your reality. You're in charge of you. The eagle experience vision I had in that dream is related in this way, that eagle was being and doing what he is, what his true authentic nature is, regardless of imposed limitations of controls that someone tried to put upon him. His light and his being were going to shine, and he was going to be what he is, even with these supposed limitations and chains that he was wrapped in. And that so applies to us individually and as a species. That you are your authentic light. You are what you authentically are, as am I. And we are absolute. And as Seth said, we are eternally valid. We are the authentic light that we are. And no outside circumstances, set of conditions, policies that governments put into place, things that are going on, um, other people coming our way that try to project their agendas onto us. None of those things can limit and stop us from being our authentic light. And as a species, we are built to ascend into a higher love, unity, cooperation, joy, creativity version of the human race, that creating heaven on earth. We are built to do that. And we are doing it as a species, regardless of all these, I'll say, last minute attempts at authoritarian governments and rules and power grabs and control structures that are in place, or people are trying to put into place. None of that matters. We are the light and love and joy that we are, and creativity and empowered creators that we are. And we are that regardless of these attempts to put chains and limitations and rules and control structures onto us, if that makes sense. So that's what I have for today, for this morning, this day after Christmas. I wish you a wonderful day, and I'll be talking with you again very, very soon. Blessings.